Hello, fellow Fumblers, and welcome to another episode of the Filmfumblers podcast, the show where four friends fumble through your favorite films. Today, we are going to be reviewing Halloween, the 2007 remake directed by Rob Zombie. So without further ado, my name's Adrian.
I'm Jay.
I'm Taryn.
Hey, it's James.
All right, boys, let's take your shot.
Okay.
Do this.
Cheers,
guys.
y'all.
Cheers.
Woo. Oh, Cheetos went down smoother last week than it did this week. Boy,
Always
I don't know.
does.
I don't know if because I'm also drinking a vodka cran. I don't know. But oh boy. All right.
Ooh.
So
Oh God, sorry.
what?
I clicked the wrong thing in Discord.
Oh, no problem. No problem. So let's start this off by who has seen the original 1978 John Carpenter Halloween?
Taryn and I watched it.
On like
Just
Tuesday
recently?
or something. Yeah.
Yeah, this week.
Yeah, I watched it Thursday. I watched
Okay.
it Thursday.
Okay.
So,
I watched it, I think like almost exactly a year ago. I feel like I watched it Halloween-ish time, 2019.
Nice.
or before that, because remember you were talking about
wait, was it before?
We did the Shining.
during our Shining episode.
That's right.
Like,
Oh,
how was
yeah.
this movie so bad when it came out before the Shining or after or something?
No, yeah. Well, okay. So listen to our episode on The Shining. The Shining is my favorite horror movie, and it came out 1980. Halloween came out 1978, just 2 years earlier, and I'm like, how is it so much worse in comparison? I know they're different films entirely. They're like slasher versus like a psychological thriller kind of thing, but man, and all right, I'm gonna start this off with a hot take. I think that movies in the mid-aughts, so mid 2000 to 2010, were not good.
That
Like,
is
they
my
were
hot
not-
take. I say that every
They were-
week.
He said that.
They're all
Why did you
bad.
say that?
Every time we do a movie from this time period, I'm like, these
Yeah.
movies
No,
just
but
suck.
and then specifically horror movies. So like
Oh,
there
okay,
were
sure.
a couple, and I would even argue that like 2000 to 2010, not even just the mid, this was just a bad time for a film, guys.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
correct me if I'm. There's a few you're gonna be able to like. But what about? But
Yeah.
it was just like a rough time. So,
Yeah.
and this one I think for me is no exception.
For sure.
But I
I don't know.
don't want to get too far into that. I want to know what
Yeah,
you guys thought about it. Too.
That's exactly why we have to bring up Running Scared, which was
Mm.
2006.
There we go.
This movie has that chaotic 2000s vibe with like everything where you can have all the what is it? Just like the language, just like
Yeah,
stuff
I was
that-
gonna bring
stuff
that up
that's
too.
never that you can't say anymore, like all
Yeah.
the homophobic slurs and stuff. Like
The bad
that's
F word.
so,
Yeah.
yeah, that's so like early 2000s. It has that
Dude.
feel. It's just weird.
I was
It's
thinking
strange.
that I was like, I feel like that time period was like the peak. It's like before that wasn't that much of a deal. No one really did that. But then in 2000s, they're like, we're saying it every fucking movie, and then it just dropped
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Like now,
yeah, yeah,
it's just nowhere.
yeah.
I think that the mid-aughts take is pretty. I mean, I think it's right. I think that's the correct, mindset to
not a
have
hot
about those
take.
movies. But it's it's interesting, especially I think another thing that these movies do is like, especially with Running Scared, they try to like jump to all these things so that you got the whole thing, you got the whole story. Where they kind of did that here too. Like half the movie is basically his childhood,
Yeah.
and then
it's very
the
different from
last
the original.
half.
It's just
Right.
the first Halloween movie.
Yeah, exactly. But the first Halloween movie on its own, it felt so short when we watched it.
Mhm.
It's
For
crazy.
sure.
It kind of moves
Yeah.
quick.
And that like, so the reason behind that was when Rob Zombie pitched this, he kind of went into pitch it saying he wanted to make a prequel where it followed Michael Myers as a young boy more, and like right after the murders, more of his experience in the mental institution. And so that's why, I mean, the first, like you said, the first half of the movie is pretty much just that. So
Yeah.
in some ways it's a remake, but they show a lot more in that early aspect, which I don't know, we can get into if that was important, or I don't know. He's a crazy person. That's all you need
Yeah.
to know. And he's in a hospital. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I will say that I was happy that I watched the old one as well,
Me
and
too.
maybe happier that I watched it before I
For
watched the
sure, yeah.
2007 one.
Yeah, I should have done that maybe.
Was that your first
oh,
time
so
watching
you watched
the
it in
first one?
reverse?
Yeah, I watched it in reverse order,
Oh, okay.
2007. I'm pretty sure I saw this movie with Stephen Liu in the theaters in
Really?
2007. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
That was
Long
God. We
time.
would have been like just, or how old
In
were
high
we?
school?
We
From
like were
ninth
just
grade?
getting into high school. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
So you're
So,
saying you snuck in?
I was just gonna say.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but probably. I don't know.
Just kidding.
I'm pretty sure I saw it in theaters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um.
Yeah, I'm
so-
so happy we watched it. That was the first time I'd seen the original Halloween, which is like, if I didn't
really?
before watching the Rob Zombie one, I would have been very sad watching it after.
Yeah.
So why? What? So okay, let's stick to that point. Did you like the original? Did you like the 1978 more than the remake, or like, did you like it at all in general, Taryn?
I think it is definitely better than the Rob Zombie one, but I don't know if I
Mhm.
like it that much as a whole, like either of them.
Yeah.
Like just in
Yeah.
general.
And that's what I want to get into is like, this movie has a giant following. Like, Michael Myers is one of the top pinnacle bad guys of horror.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just why? I don't know why.
Dude, yeah.
I don't get it. Like,
There's 11 of these movies with 2 future movies coming out soon. Like
Damn.
next year and the year after that. It's like 11 movies? What?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a lot.
my theory is that
Too much.
the context of the times, right, is probably a thing. Like when this movie came out, what other kinds of movies were coming out? Was this like a newer thing to just see such a direct, like,
Slasher.
slasher, like
Yeah.
people dying and stuff like that? And then
Pure evil.
2 is that they named it after the holiday. So you can't get much better than that. Like,
True.
oh, I want to watch a Halloween movie.
Yeah,
Well, hey,
that's-
there's this movie called Halloween.
That's
It
prime
takes
real
place on
estate.
Halloween.
Yeah, it's free
Yeah.
real estate like that. But I think that's what makes it so recurring and why we're getting 2 more is because it's centered around this thing that happens every year and
Yeah.
Yeah.
only makes sense. Keep
I wa-
pumping them out.
I'm pretty sure that the first one was the first like slasher movie, wasn't it? Like
1978 was
yeah,
that?
I'm pretty sure.
I honestly don't know.
Which
maybe-
could also
maybe,
be a factor.
Yeah, and I think I've just kind of come to terms with this isn't my genre. You know,
Really?
like
Yeah.
it's just not.
Yeah.
And
And
that's
that's-
okay. Like a lot of people, like these types of films, and that's cool. Like I don't think I was talking to Taryn earlier about like different types of horror movies where there's the horror movies where you watch them and while you're watching them you're terrified because there's like jump scares and there's gonna be stuff around the corner. And then there's the types of horror movies where it's not terrifying as you're watching it, but once it ends and you go to bed, you just get this existential dread where you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And so both of those movies have their place, but I feel like where are slashers? Because they're not like overwhelmingly scary during, right?
They're kind of intense sometimes, right?
I don't know.
I mean, like even though you feel like everyone's gonna probably die, but it's still like when and where
Yeah.
and like all this shit.
When and how
Yeah.
and what are they gonna do? Yeah.
Well,
But
I
so,
think.
like, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was thinking, you said that this maybe is not your genre,
Mhm.
which is why I kind of think the Rob Zombie one is a little bit better because it's not just pure slasher, right? Like there's a little bit more story. There's a little bit you get to kind of stick around with the characters a little bit more, even if they are like crap characters or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but like I don't know, the original is just pure
Yeah.
like what lurks in the shadows, and it's kind of
Yeah.
it's boring. It's boring, right? I think it's boring.
I don't know if
I
it's
don't know.
boring. I think it sits in a weird place, though, to what you were saying, Adrian, in between the spectrum of like existential dread and like just being scared in the moment. Because most of these slashers or some of these slashers don't really have like supernatural elements to them, which makes them like more plausible in real life, which I think becomes the scary part
Yeah.
later. Is like this could actually happen.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. And that's why it's like, I don't know. That's why it should be more scary, I think, but it's not for me. I don't know why. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, there could like there could and can and like is people who are there are people who are just psychopathic murderers.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Okay, so going off of that, and to get more into the newer movie, do you guys like the added story stuff? Like, do you think it added a lot to this movie? Because in my opinion, I liked the original more because it was just so unsettling. Like, this kid just literally, like, just randomly, seemingly killed his sister, and then it's just crazy. But then, like, to give him all this backstory and try to make you empathize with him, I didn't think it worked, like, almost at all.
Yeah, I think, well, I don't know. It kind of gives it that more realistic feeling, like this is like a slow decay of somebody's like mental health, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I don't really know if I can say that it's like better, but I thought it was more interesting to watch. Like I don't feel like it needed it, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was okay, but I don't know.
I mean, I will
For
say
me,
that I
that-
appreciate him trying to make it his own movie instead of just one-to-one direct
I
remaking.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
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 For me, it kind of hit a couple things. Like one is that it made it, I guess it depends on the person, but it could make it more relatable. Like maybe you grew up with kids like this kid or whatever, you had somebody like him in your life. And then two was like it did make you empathize with him, but it also like broke that for me. Like when he just starts killing like his own family, like his sister and shit, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, this
Yeah.
dude's actually just insane. And there's
Yeah.
no like boundaries here.
And that was like another good thing about it too, is like I think Rob Zombie was trying to get you to empathize with him and feel bad for him with that whole redneck backstory and everything like that. And he was like bullied, abused, this and that. But then when you see him in the mental hospital later, he even kills
Danny
freaking
Trejo,
Machete.
dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
he
Yeah.
kills
like,
Machete. And
Too.
he's like, I was good to you, boy. Like, you know, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And that kind of shows that he really is unhinged and he's fucking evil. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's just gonna kill whoever. But like the dumb thing in that movie is that everyone's way more evil than Michael, kind of at points. Like,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
like his family's evil. Everyone around him is like super evil to him, and like this and that. It's kind of weird.
See, I feel
It's
like
kinda
that's
weird.
what sucks out all the like terror from Michael Myers as a character, because it's like
Everything
know.
is shit around
Yeah.
him. Yeah, and I think they could have, I don't know. So there's this interesting line that they decide to just cross where Michael's gonna just indiscriminately kill everyone in his path. And part of me thinks that it would have maybe added more depth to his character if he was just like, you know what, I'm gonna beat the shit out of Danny Trejo, but I'm not gonna kill him. Like,
yeah, like why
or
did he
like,
kill him?
I'm gonna kill these two guys. Okay, and we have to talk about the fucking rape scene in this was like,
Yeah.
like it just bothered me. I don't know. There are rape scenes in
Yeah.
other movies. We can get into that in a little bit, but
Yeah.
like if he would have just killed the two guys who were committing the rape and then like just like fucking left her or something, I don't know, maybe it would have been like, all right, he's like he's like this crazed killer, but there's still something there. There's some glimmer of humanity
You
in
don't
him.
want to make him like this anti-hero though, right? Because like,
Yeah,
well,
that's so weird.
no.
Yeah, exactly. That's what, that's where it's, I guess, falls off. But we explore the character of Michael Myers for so long. I mean, his psychiatrist talks, he's like, I've been talking to you for 15 years and you haven't said a word. It's like, why are you still even going, brother? Like, what the fuck are you doing? 15 years of talking to no one?
Yeah. I don't
but,
know. He becomes obsessed with it, which is kind of like interesting that like he becomes enthralled with this person. And I guess you kind of see his own selfish reasons as well, because he's writing an entire novel on this kid. He's kind of, that's
Making
kind of
money off it.
Yeah, it's
he has
kind of
classes.
which is kind of messed up if you think about it. But I don't know. I liked the doctor's character. I thought it was.
I think he was the best character in the film. Yeah. Well, maybe Danny Trejo was good. Actually, what's the grizzly, the guy in the truck stop?
Oh god.
Yeah.
I got a Taco Supreme Deluxe here, brother. You might want to give me a minute.
Yeah, that was the best character.
And that's another thing in this movie. Like it had it was like, am I supposed to be taking this really seriously? And then you have moments like that where it's just
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? Like it was kind of hard to.
Yeah. Well, it, you
Am I
know,
supposed to be taking this so seriously? It suffers from that
Yeah.
2007.
Yeah,
I-
and then
yeah, I was
Rush
gonna
comes on.
say.
You're like, what is happening? Like, am I supposed
Yeah.
to be like hyped for this? Is like a road trip now? Like, why is
Yeah.
where is he going? You know what I
Don't
mean?
Fear the Reaper play. Like you're like, there's some bangers here. All right. Like,
Like it just
I
changes the
watched
mood
this-
so weirdly.
yeah, I watched this with my girlfriend, and we laughed more than we were scared, for sure. Like
Yeah.
100%, we
Yeah.
laughed more than we were scared.
There was a lot of cool, like, the Don't Fear the Reaper was played in the original too, like
Yeah.
little callbacks
Mhm.
like that.
That was good.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the whole second half is literally almost shot for shot the first movie, but
It's pretty close, yeah.
yeah.
The,
It's at the
the-
very end, and there was some changes there, but
Yeah,
yeah.
But the the music was awesome. Which you expect kind of from Rob Zombie, right? Like
he's
So
But
what do you
they get
mean,
to
like
see-
the placed in music?
yeah, the music
You
that
thought
they
that you
chose.
liked that?
Yeah, I did. I thought it was cool.
Hmm.
Because it gives it that personal touch that I think he would bring to a movie like this. Like,
Sure,
hey, we're
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
throw some bangers in here.
I
Yeah.
liked it too, and even like Taryn, you were saying like, oh, they had freaking what the song they played, Tom
Oh
Sawyer?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
but it was played at like a fitting time. That was the truck stop scene, right? Where like things are a little bit more lighthearted.
like,
and-
I mean, yeah, but why did that scene even happen? You know what I mean? Like,
because he had to
Yeah.
steal the trucker suit, I guess. I don't know.
oh
Yeah.
sure,
The
sure.
original did do it way better. I mean, the original, I think, I like that he broke out, killed a couple people, stole a car, and then went back to his hometown. It was
But
like,
then
thank you.
turn
All
that
I
on
did
its
now.
head. Why does he know how to drive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And it's
Whatever. I don't
oh, yeah,
want to
that's-
get into that. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean,
don't
we could talk about both movies. I mean,
yeah,
That was
pretty
pretty
much.
funny, dude. The driving scenes just made me kind of laugh in the original because
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
looks so funny. Like,
he's just creeping up.
yeah, in the mask
9
and
and 2.
everything.
He's just all skinny, dude. He's like all skinny, and then they made him this fucking behemoth of a man in the 2007 one. Like he's
Yeah.
like a pro wrestler or something.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
In real life, he is.
6'9", 6'8".
in real life he is.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I thought you were
the
saying
actor.
that. Yeah.
Oh no, I was just guessing. I was like, he's
He's
fucking
a
huge.
retired professional wrestler.
Oh, okay,
Tyler
Makes
Maine.
Okay.
Tyler Maine. Yeah, he's 6'8", 6'9", something like that.
Holy
he's, a
fuck.
fucking, he's huge.
Yeah,
He's massive.
And
and I'm like, they're just like this dude's just working out like every day, eating like nothing but raw eggs. Like,
But at the same time, he's not eating. Oh, he's never eating, and it's just like
Yeah,
this
he doesn't
motherfucker is eating. Like he's eating like 8,000 calories a day. Are you kidding me?
yeah.
So
Oh
do you
my
guys
God.
like the gigantic version of him like that? Or do you like the scrawnier version in the original?
I kind of like the behemoth Michael
do too,
because I don't know, it kind of explains why he can just get shot all the fucking time. Like
Sure.
he's just 150 million pounds of pure beef muscle. Like it's like all the bullets are just fucking.
Yeah.
I think he weighs in at like 300 pounds, somewhere around there, like
That's a big
295.
boy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
I like the big version. I think
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was
it's
wondering
just
because
cool.
John Carpenter, that's one of his gripes with the remake.
Was that he was
made
too
him
big?
so big. He's like, that was part of why I made him so scrawny. Is like, it just like generalizes it more. It's like anyone can do this horrible shit. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
not this like you
Yeah.
don't have to be some monster ass guy to
Yeah.
do all this.
Yeah.
Shit.
Dude, and weirdly, that was Rob Zombie's excuse for casting his wife. Well, I wanted him to have a tall mom because he's 6'8". Like,
Did you guys notice she was tall? Because I fucking didn't. Like what?
no,
I didn't really
it's like,
notice.
just say you wanted to cast your wife, bro. We're
Yeah.
not gonna hate you for it. Come on.
Yeah.
She's in like every movie of his, so I guess that's not unexpected.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen Rob Zombie's other movies?
I feel like
No,
Yeah.
House
One
of a
of
Thousand
them.
Corpses is like the one that I know of. I haven't even seen.
Yeah,
it, though.
I actually really like that movie. And then there was a
Really?
follow up to that movie,
Devil's Rejects or
The
whatever.
Devil Rejects. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what was Rob Zombie's first movie? Does anyone know off the top of their head?
I think it's a
It was,
thousand corpses.
House of a Thousand Corpses, I think.
Okay.
I was gonna
And that
make
was-
some kind of Dragula joke.
Dragula.
I was trying to make it. That wasn't quick enough.
Oh, you and then. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Thunder
Those-
Kiss 69.
Those movies are good though. I enjoy them. They're really weird and I don't know, kind of their own little thing, but they're
Yeah,
cool.
I feel like
Mhm.
knowing that, I figured or I'd expected more weird shit like that to come up in this movie, and
Uh-huh.
it kind of didn't. I mean, it did at the beginning a little bit, but like once it turned into the old Halloween movie, it just kind of stopped doing that.
What do
Which
you
I
mean
kind of
specifically by like
like
weird
just
shit?
his style, like
He's like
Mm.
the
into
weird
that
redneck
redneck
shit. Yeah,
shit. Like he's like
There's
into
one
like
of that.
Hellbilly
zombie
Deluxe.
Hellbilly.
Hellbilly.
That's his album
Right.
name, dude.
Oh god.
Ugh.
Oh god.
He's just like into that. He's
Yeah,
like
that's what I kind of hoped he just went way harder on that throughout the whole thing, I guess.
It feels like
Yeah.
he should have remade like Texas Chainsaw Massacre then or something. I don't know. Like,
oh, yeah. Some Texas pride, brother.
yeah, because this movie had a lot of that hillbilly aspect to it, but it just bothered me. Like, so what bothered me so much in the beginning, I was like, why is this couple together? Like this, it's you have like this attractive tall blonde who's just dating this total loser, and I guess like of course it happens, but just watching that relationship pissed me off. I was like, this is so stupid. I hate these characters, everyone. I just hate
Yeah.
everyone
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
much. But I mean, obviously, you're not supposed to like them. They're not supposed to be likable characters. But
This is they're there for the sake of feeling bad for Michael, right?
yeah,
At that point. But
And
but
then
even
dying.
like and then dying. And like I think the worst characters were all the teeny bopper girls.
In the
Oh,
like
yeah.
present time, whatever, quote unquote.
Yeah. And they suffered from that, like I don't know why were they so raunchy? Like I don't know.
I
I
know.
mean, don't call me a
Just-
prude or anything. I'm not a prude, but like they were like so like talking
Yeah.
about sucking dicks and
Yeah,
like
just
didn't Michael
very,
Myers' little
very-
sister? She was like,
Yeah, with like the bagel,
pretending-
like fucking throwing her finger.
oh,
in it.
yeah, she was
Oh,
like
yeah.
She's supposed to
fucking
be
the
like the saint
bagel, like-
babysitter character, being all weird.
yeah,
shit.
And that
it
was to her parents, like
her
the bagel.
stepparents,
scene.
yeah. And like I was like, okay, like are we like going something down here? Like, is this like, it's the hereditary. It's like this whole family's fucked. Even
Oh,
even
boy.
even she was gonna be fucked one day. You know what I mean? She's gonna be go unhinged. But no, it was like all the teeny boppers in the movie were just raunchy. I was like,
and I don't.
such
I'm-
strange dialogue in the movie with their characters.
The writing was bad. It was just really bad. Like with all the
Yeah.
people, the characters interacting with each other, I'm like, this is not how people talk. Like this is just bad writing. But
yeah.
and I think like just in the actual direction of the film, where how you were talking about like they were raunchy, the film's raunchy. Like there's just so many
It is,
tit
yeah.
scenes for no real reason,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and that was kind of, I
Let's
guess,
talk
just a-
about that one where she gets dragged, her bare nipples on the floor. Oh my god!
I thought that saw that too. I was like, oh,
Chafed
shit.
I'm
nip.
like, "Ah!" That probably hurt way more than anything else that happened to her.
yeah.
Oh
And
my
that was like it felt a lot of times it felt just unnecessary. It was just like, why do
Yeah.
we just need to see tits all the time? And then they were like high schoolers, like quote unquote high schoolers. It's like, what the fuck? These girls are playing 16-year-old characters.
But to be
Like,
fair, there's titties in like the very first minute of the original Halloween movie too, isn't it?
well, and that's what I was gonna say. Is it's kind of a slasher bad horror movie trope. I think is just to be like, yeah, the
Yeah.
writing's not there, but at least we are gonna show you some tits. Like, it's kind of like Hooters restaurant where Hooters is gonna have really bad service, and you're just gonna be like, well, I don't know. That's gonna be a hot take.
That's funny. I mean,
Yeah, I feel like that was a pretty common thing back in the day to get
Yeah.
people to go see those kinds of movies.
I guess, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And to get preteens to want to watch it, right? Like,
Sure, yeah.
oh, did you see there's like 4 scenes in there,
Slap the rated R on it and
Yeah.
watch them trying to watch it. Maybe that's why
Right.
it's stuck around for so long too.
Yeah.
yeah, it's like feels like almost more of a date movie than a fucking horror movie. It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, but I guess to be fair, I don't want to beat this movie up too much. I did have fun watching it. Like it was fun but if not just to make fun of it, right? Like
Yeah.
to make fun of the
Yeah.
writing. And I think if I would have watched this movie alone, I would have been like, fuck, like this is like,
Sure.
I have to fucking get through this. But
Yeah.
having somebody to bounce like just like, can you believe this shit? The ideas off of was fun. So
Yeah.
it had that,
Yeah.
if nothing else.
And
Yeah.
but okay, I'm not big on horror movies like in general, and I think that's like kind of why I watch scary movies is to kind of laugh at it because
Mhm.
I don't know. I just most of the time I'm just like this doesn't do anything for me. But
Yeah.
Are there any horror movies that you really like?
I don't know. What did I give Hereditary? Like an 8 or something?
It was probably pretty up there.
7? I don't
I
know.
don't remember.
Did I like it? I thought it was okay. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I like the ones with more story. Like you said, these slasher ones are just kind of
Yeah.
weak, and that's why I'm like,
So maybe
shout
you
out to
lean
Rob
towards
Zombie. I don't know.
the existential dread type of stuff more, or
Yeah, probably something like that.
that's fair.
I don't know.
Yeah. And as far as like just types of horror movies, how we were I was trying to categorize where this fits. And I think I found a spot for it where it's the horror movie that you go to see on Halloween night with a group of friends in a movie theater. And it's just like, it's not going to be great, but it's going to be fun and you can laugh at it. And it's fitting with the season. So I guess I will say that they do have, these types of movies do have their place in
Yeah.
the,
I feel like if I saw this in high school, I would probably like it a lot. Kind of, you know what I mean? Like back then, it's
Yeah.
like all the cool music, all the
It's something you get excited to go
Crazy
see.
shit.
Like, oh, we're
Yeah.
gonna go watch
Yeah.
Halloween this weekend. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. All the Kiss T-shirts, Taryn.
Yeah, I was like,
That's what happens. Yeah.
what's
Oh,
he
dude,
saying,
parents-
bro? Only
parents don't let
psychos
your-
listen to Kiss.
Yeah, parents don't let your kids listen to Kiss and turn out like
Dude.
Michael Myers.
And when he was getting his ass kicked in the bathroom wearing that Kiss shirt, I thought of you. I was like, we always bully Taryn for liking Kiss, and he's getting bullied while
man.
wearing a Kiss t-shirt. This
Dude,
is so
I
funny.
feel like those parts of it, I would have probably dug back in high school, early high school. You know what I mean? Like just seeing that, I'd be like, oh, cool, holy shit. But now it's like that just made it so cheesy.
With the Spy Kids kid.
Yeah, dude.
Oh
What the
yeah.
fuck?
Wait, what?
Oh, both Machetes and Spy Kids too. Right?
Oh, that's
Wait,
true.
wait.
The curly-haired
Spy Kids
kid.
was the bully?
Yeah.
The one who got killed
Yeah.
by the branch or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Oh,
was
shit.
the Spy Kid.
Wow, what a dick.
Truly a dick. Yeah.
Oh man. Where do we go from here, boys?
I really don't even know.
So, okay. I want to talk about so there's a fucking, what did we say, 11 Halloween movies? Some shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why the fuck is he not dying? What is happening with Michael Myers that this motherfucker will not die? Because there has to be some supernatural element to that, right? Doesn't he get shot in the face at the end of this one?
Yeah.
I mean, we don't see
Yeah.
it.
So the
She's all
reasoning-
struggling, maybe she misses or whatever.
Because he like
Yeah.
grabs her hand and
So Rob Zombie wasn't gonna make a second one. He wanted it to be the end there. He wanted to kind of revisionist it and just have Michael Myers die there. But money
production
talks,
company.
money
Oh, I was
money
gonna say,
Money
talks. And so he made the second one.
I saw.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just on the Wikipedia, but like the original ending for this movie had
Mhm.
Dr. whatever the fuck his name is, Loomis.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or okay, so
Samuel
Michael
Loomis.
Myers was like holding up Laurie, about to kill her, whatever the fuck, and then Loomis was like actually talked him down and made him stop. He's like, "You did the right thing" or whatever,
Mhm.
and then killed him. I think. I actually forgot, but it's like
Oh,
it was
wow.
a definitive end for sure that he was trying to go for.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. In the
I'm sure.
original, but
No, in this one, the Rob Zombie one.
in this one.
That's what they were going to. That's what he
Yeah,
pitched.
that was the
or something?
original
Yeah.
ending.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Has anybody seen the sequel to this?
Nope.
No.
I don't think I have either.
Hmm.
It's like, what could it be about? She just comes back
Yeah.
again, like, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
wondering.
That's what I'm
And
like.
that's-
3, 4, 5, 6. Like, what are those about, dude? I'm sure he gets to his sister at some point or whatever. I mean, is it even his sister in the old ones? I don't think so. They don't make it explicit.
I think
Yeah.
that it is in the other ones. I don't know. That's what's weird because like in the original they didn't even like mention that at all, right? I think it gets revealed in Halloween 2.
Oh,
Oh, like the first Halloween too.
the first Halloween too.
Yeah, I think.
That's
I
why
don't
I
know,
wanted to
but
watch it. I was like, does it give answers? Like, I'm so confused
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. I feel like
yeah.
I've seen a handful of these movies at various times in my life, but I wouldn't be able to tell you which ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like
They're-
sometimes
they're
I'm also
different
conflating.
timelines. Yeah.
I'm also conflating like this and Jason, like where he
Yeah.
actually will not die, right?
Oh,
So,
yeah.
but I'm just like, well, Jason's subhuman or whatever, but Michael Myers is just a big guy, so he should die, right? Like,
Yeah, and I
if they're gonna
think
be
in
making
some
these
of the
movies.
Halloween movies, he's not even in it.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
I think
Huh.
it's more about. I think it's more about
Locking in that Halloween name.
Oh, yeah.
it's all about like the thought of him. I think what's her face, Lori. What's her name?
Oh,
She's
his
more
sister,
on
yeah.
like the paranoid. Like she thinks she sees him, but she doesn't. I don't know, something like that.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And then we watched the 2018 one, right, Jay? A couple years ago in theaters as well.
Yeah, whoops. Yeah, I remember watching that one. Which was, I don't know, it was kind of more of the same, but kind of interesting, I guess.
What movie was that exactly?
I think it's just called Halloween.
Yeah,
Halloween
so
2018.
But it's
It's
2018.
basically Halloween 3 from like the 70s. Like they did Halloween 1, 2, and then they retconned the rest of them, and this is Halloween 3 now.
What's her name? Jamie Lee Curtis is
Yeah,
in it.
yeah.
Dude,
She's
she's
in it.
like
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Old.
a crazy alcoholic that's like she's like all
Traumatized.
tweaked
Oh,
out,
yeah.
and then yeah.
And the next
that
2
one's
are
cool.
still taking that series.
Oh, okay. Is she gonna be in them?
I think so.
Wow.
Which is like spoilers, right? Damn, she lives.
Oh, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Well, she has like this badass house cabin that's all like rigged out
Yeah.
just for this, very event to
Oh,
occur.
really?
Like
Yeah.
secret garages and guns like baked into the walls and shit like that. Like it's really cool.
That actually
Yeah.
sounds interesting. Like, what would happen to someone trying to deal with that later in life? Fucking
Yeah.
PTSD.
Yeah, like
That's
who was
interesting.
prepared for it,
Hmm.
and it's relatable to us
sounds
because
cool, but it's not as good as you think.
it's not as
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I don't want to hype it up,
Yeah.
but like the idea of it is cool.
Yeah.
And then it starts off as like it's two people doing a podcast on Michael Myers, and
Oh my
it kind of
God.
kicks in like that. So
Wait, when is that? That's the. Are we still talking about the 2018?
it's 2018 one.
Okay.
3
Something's just
movies
like,
named Halloween, dude. Come on.
This is confusing for me.
Yeah.
I've only seen the 1978 and the 2007.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, oh boy, and I don't. Man, I'm just like, do I even want to? Do I even care to watch the other
No,
ones? Like,
I don't know.
11 movies, dude. That's
yeah.
That's
that's
insane.
Star Wars, dude. That's fucking.
Jeez.
That's like, what is going
And
on?
so this movie, let's
There's the Star Wars.
talk about how successful. Like, I mean, this movie was pretty successful. A budget of 15 million, a box office of over 80 million. Not bad, right? I mean, and I think
Not
the same thing.
great.
So it's not phenomenal, like it's not a
Yeah.
blockbuster, but that's
Sorry,
I'd
this
be
is the 2007.
This is the 2007 Rob Zombie
Yeah.
remake.
Okay, I
And
feel
so
like that's pretty good.
That's good, right? And so they made a decision to not release it on Halloween because Saw 4 was being released on the Halloween.
That was the
Oh, there's
bigger movie or
another-
what?
So that was
trying to
going to be
dodge
like
it.
they didn't want to compete with that. So they released it like the last weekend of August or something, which I think is still even a little early. Why wouldn't you just release it a weekend before Saw or
Yeah,
Right.
2 weeks from then.
but two
Yeah.
weeks before, but
That's
but I mean, even then, 2007 August, 80 million in the box
million.
office, not bad.
Yeah,
So we get a second one, I guess, right?
yeah.
That's why
I feel like, yeah, that's totally. It probably is the name more than anything at that point, right?
Yeah.
Like a Halloween in 2007 in the middle of August is not. I don't know. I would expect them to maybe break even. So the fact that they multiplied it is, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, for sure, impressive. I don't know how are Rob Zombie's other films like. I'm curious how they did in the box office and his like quote unquote originals, if they were well received or like I don't know how he is perceived as a director. Like I think it's pretty cool that, you know, it just seems like this guy who just made a bunch of like cool music for people in middle school and then like goes on to make to make these like crazy horror movies.
Visual versions.
I don't know.
House of a
Uh,
Thousand Corpses doubled its budget.
Okay.
what is it?
That's not bad.
Oh shit,
He's only 55.
that's weird.
He's quite young.
Yeah, he's not that old.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought he was old.
Okay,
Devil's Rejects pretty much tripled their budget.
so
but
I
not
actually,
bad.
I actually
Not
heard
that
that Lords of Salem is actually a pretty good movie,
Oh, I forgot about that
regardless
movie.
of Rob Zombie's catalog. I guess it's actually just
Huh.
decent, pretty good
Just like
in general. Yeah.
a standalone pretty good movie. Yeah, because after watching this, you know, that's why I asked. I was like, was this like his first? When was House of a Thousand Corpses? What was the release on that one? That was his first.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was 2003.
Okay, so that's why I was like, after watching this, I was like, I don't know. Maybe if this was his first movie, like yeah, but I was just like, I don't know if I need to watch anything else from him, like, because I don't think that he's gonna be my type of director or my type of
Yeah, it's such
writer.
a specific style that I don't know if I enjoy looking at. Just like
Huh.
that gross, weird.
I feel like I
random shit.
want to try him out because we have like 3 or 4 people vouching for some of his other movies in our
Yeah.
chat alone.
Chat,
Yeah.
And that's I don't know. That's
That's something. For sure.
everyone or at least one of them have said one of his movies
is actually pretty good.
is actually okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
I
like,
think he
kinda-
specializes in like more character based stuff. So like we're saying how the dialogue in this movie kind of sucks because people don't say shit like that. But
Yeah.
his other movies are kind of based around like characters that have personas where
Mhm.
these forms of dialogue work. So I think that, you know, having that freedom because they're also and it's not just like, you know, like they're like characters, like, you
Yeah.
know, anti-heroes, like
clowns and
villain
shit.
types. Yeah, they have like
Oh.
names, like, you know, almost like superheroes kind of deal. It's kind of weird. So it works a lot more. It works much better. Like one of the names is Captain Spaulding.
In which
Shit like
movie?
that. In House of a Thousand Corpses.
Oh, okay. Okay.
There's like 3 or 4 characters, so to speak, in that.
See, that's what I was trying to bring up earlier. Is I wonder if he did that more in the latter half of the movie, if it would have been better, or not even better, but just more unique and interesting.
No, I think you're right in that he kind of reeled back in the latter half to like pay more respect to the original, maybe, or try to, instead of
and
kind of letting loose.
that's
don't know.
kind of the thing just about remakes in general is how much do you I mean, we talked about this a little bit in Mulan where it was like, okay, too much was changed, but not enough was the same. Like
Yeah.
so you know, it's just like where do you walk that line? And I feel like Rob Zombie in the first half of this film was like, all right, let's like do our own thing, let's write this out. And I didn't hate it. I don't know that it was like entirely necessary, but the second half was just like, all right, like I think Terrence said, it's pretty much a shot for shot remake. Not a lot else happens, and it's like, why am I wasting my time? It's not like there was any crazy new development in CG that they utilized, you know, where they were just like, let's make this look really cool, or let's add so much to it that it was just like, why, what are we doing here?
The
Why are
kills
we
were
here?
a little more long-winded, I felt, in this remake. Like it felt like they were like the whole thing where like he's like doing fucking home remodeling by
With the
ripping
2x4,
out
yeah.
Oh, with the
like, he's like, you know, that went
Jeez.
on forever. I was like, geez. And like
Yeah.
that's the weird thing
Demolition
is
Man.
that this movie was only 30 minutes longer than the original, but it felt there was some parts at the end where I was just like, okay, because maybe that's like not what I'm looking forward to is the killings. Like I don't know, I'm okay with them, but I was like, it was about like 20 minutes too long. Like that's kind of how I felt.
Yeah.
And like I wouldn't have cut out Michael Myers' backstory because I enjoyed that. I don't know what I would cut out. Maybe just
I
make
feel like
the
it
killings
had a
kill.
couple good endings, and it just kept going, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, she gets fucking tackled by this fucking 300-pound man off the balcony, right? Is that what happens?
Yeah,
Or-
off the
Yeah.
second story balcony.
Yeah.
This dude's like a tight end. I don't know my football. But she like, boom.
But then they go to
Rex
the pool after that, right? It just keeps going, dude.
Something
Yeah.
like that. And
Well,
then, and
because
then
they,
Doesn't he get shot 4 times in the back in the pool? Isn't that
yeah,
is that after the balcony? It has
Yeah,
to be.
because they're outside
Yeah.
at that point.
and because the balcony, he tackles her off, and they hit the ground. You don't see them hit the ground, and then it just cuts to like nothing for a sec, and you're like, "What the fuck just happened?" And then it goes to them on the ground, and she somehow ended up on top of him and is like fine, and he's like knocked out, assumingly.
yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe
then-
that's after then.
No. So what happens is there he's in the car with the doctor, remember?
Oh,
then
and she
he
he
says-
crashes through.
And then she
Oh my
says
god,
the
yeah.
stupidest, cheesiest, which is from the original
the
movie.
original.
Was that the boogeyman? I was
Oh
like,
God,
I
It
was
is in
like,
fact.
wow.
That's
Oh,
right.
I was
That
just
was like
literally-
the
I
other
was like,
time. Yeah.
I was like, it's gonna end here, isn't it? It's gonna end here. And then I was like, oh fuck! And then they jump scared me, which
Yeah,
I
me
was
too, me
Oh
too.
yeah,
when he was like, boom, and then
through the window.
yeah,
I
that
totally forgot
actually
about that.
that
So
actually got me.
how does he end up on the ground? Because like doesn't it end where she's on top of him and then shoots him in like
That's what I'm,
presumably
like,
shoots him in
yeah.
the face?
Oh,
what I'm
okay. So
thinking.
they're at the pool, right? The doctor comes, fucks it all up, and then she runs back inside, leaves his ass for dead. I was like, what the fuck? This guy just saved you, and you're just ditching his ass.
He's old, dude.
And it's
Alright,
just, he
you know
drags him
what?
inside. And that's when he's fucking hitting the roof, is after they go back inside.
Oh, okay. Because then he comes back in. Remember,
has the gun the whole
because he
time.
gouges his eyes out, but somehow,
But then
can
somehow
still
his eyes are
see-
fine.
yeah, and he like grabs his leg.
That
Okay,
does
I'm
happen,
remembering
doesn't
this now.
He's in
'Cause
the
I was like,
second
where'd she get
movie,
the gun?
spoilers. So it's like, he's not fucking dead.
Yeah, that's the thing too, where it's just like
And he's still
okay,
not dead.
guess he's not dead.
It's
Let's
because he's
just-
pure evil.
No, I mean the
That's
doctor.
what they say.
He's
Oh,
like
the doctor's not
Yeah.
dead. Yeah. I don't know. Nobody dies in these movies. It's just all for. It's just like Tom and Jerry. They just
Like,
scream at each other for
Tom and
45 years. They're just like
Very
"You know what?
violent version.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
was
good way to
watching
put it.
this. I was watching this interview with Jordan Peele, and he was saying like the difference between a horror and a comedy is the music. And like when you said it's like Tom and Jerry, I'm like, yeah. like-
Yeah. Yeah.
oh man.
That's
That's
hilarious.
good. Wow, that might have just changed my whole score. I don't know if that's
Well-
for better or worse, but
What do you mean?
because I just never thought about it like that, and now like because it really and there's not it's not just this movie, right? Like Scream does the same thing. It's the same woman, Sydney or whatever, in all of them, and it is literally just Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the first one, 1978, when you have no idea who's who, even more so then, it's Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
But that's funny.
Oh boy.
I guess touching on the music, dude, John Carpenter's music is so fucking good. Like, it's like been memed to hell, and it's a little cheesy now, but whatever that fucking song.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still
menacing.
so it's so fucking unsettling, dude. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
knew
think-
like 4
Go.
people that had ringtones like that at some
Yeah.
point in life, you know.
Oh yeah. And that's I mean, I think if it's so I was mentioning earlier, why are these movies still like why does everyone care about Michael Myers so much? This film did have stuff that I'm maybe talking a little bit more about 1978, but it had stuff that was like redeeming qualities about maybe breaking new grounds for horror, and the music was actually really good, like in the original. And I'm glad that they used that. They had to use that in the
Yeah,
2007. They
iconic.
couldn't
dude.
not do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that alone, just the music and
It was kind of
way that it
cool
adds
in
to it.
the original. They were watching the original thing,
Yeah.
which was kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
And in the original 1978 movie, because remember, like the little kids are
Oh, they're watching the thing?
they're
Yeah.
watching the thing.
The
yeah.
movie that we watched last
on.
week or
Yeah,
whatever the
yeah.
fuck is the one that
It's
was
a
based
remake.
on. Yeah.
Yeah,
The black and white 50s one.
Oh, right.
Which is
Which was
cool.
also
'cause-
John Carpenter.
Yeah. His version
That's
came out
that's
after
the
Halloween,
connection.
which is cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's like a teaser.
yeah.
And then they also watched it in 2007.
Yeah.
They watched the original thing.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. And I think it was like different parts of it, but
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
cool
Cool
connection.
callbacks. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
decent enough callbacks for sure. And that's the thing is like, they use a lot of the same music from the original, which is like on one end is a good thing, but also it's just like, well, what did you add to this? Where did you you
Yeah.
bring into it? So
The
I don't know.
fucking the glasses over the sheets, dude, killed me
Oh
both
Jesus!
movies.
Oh
I'm
my
like, this
God.
is so dumb.
Yeah.
So dumb, but it's
Is
so
it supposed
good.
to be taken seriously? That's the big question about
'Cause,
horror.
I mean, he's basically a kid still, right? I mean,
Yeah.
No,
it's just dumb.
I don't. Is he? I don't know.
He's
Trying
a
to
kid.
justify it. I don't know. I don't
Dude,
fucking
isn't he
know.
supposed to be like barely like 25 years old or something? I mean, it's like
He's
this
25. Yeah,
That's
25.
insane.
because
Mhm.
he's 10, and then it's 20
15
years.
years later, right?
Yeah, 15
Or
years.
is it 20? Yeah, so he's 30, whatever.
Yeah, he's
But he's a large,
not very old.
large
Just a large man.
Yeah.
I thought it was really funny that they did it in the second or in this one, the 2007 one too.
Yeah.
Because it was bad in the first one, but like it was still okay because it was like a scrawny dude. And then in
Yeah.
this one they do it and it's just this hulking fucking sheet with
Yeah.
glasses. I was like,
Doesn't
okay.
even fit under a doorway.
Yeah.
There's something like kind of scary about it. Like it is laughable because that's even what the character does at first, right? Like she laughs and then she's like, "Wait, what the fuck?" Like you're like
Yeah.
you're literally just standing there. It's kind of weird.
Well, that's like kind of the same thing that happens when he's killing his sister, because it's the same exact like scenario where her
Mhm.
boyfriend leaves to go make a sandwich. Michael Myers comes back, and like in the first part of the movie, he like touches his sister's leg or something. She's like, "Oh, she thinks it's her boyfriend," and then nope, murdered. Same thing happens in this situation.
Yeah, what's with the Wincest in this movie?
Is
Yeah,
is
that's
there a
weird.
Wincest? Is
I don't know. There was a little bit of sexual frustration between Michael and his sister, wasn't there?
And his sister and the dad. That was so awkward, dude.
oh god, that was
Oh,
why,
when
and
he
that
was,
was just like
talking
another
about her
redneck trope.
ass.
Yeah.
He's
That
like,
was
she's got
why?
that dumpy. Like what? What are you
She's
saying?
got a nice dumper.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That's a good one. That's
A
Dude,
nice
it's
dumper.
rednecks, man. What do you expect?
Great
Yeah.
writing all around.
It's the
Nice
deal.
dumper.
Nice.
Oh, I guess real quick,
Yeah.
the sheet scene in the new one. I thought they actually changed it. Like, all right, that shit was done back then, so we're gonna change it because it's him, right? The actual boyfriend that has the sheet on at first.
Well, he does it at first.
Yeah, but because he doesn't do it
Mm.
in the original. But I thought maybe they were just making fun of it in the new one. So he's like, "Oh, cool, that's
Mm.
funny," and then he does it anyway. I was like, "Okay, dude, what the fuck?"
does it anyway. Dude, and like I love how he pins him to the wall, like with
Yeah.
just the kitchen knife. I'm just like, dude,
Yeah.
shut up. Come on.
Dude, super.
Well, that was a callback to the original too.
Right.
Because,
Like,
and
is it
then-
even
like
long
that.
enough to go through the person, let alone enough to
no
go into
way.
the wall?
It's long enough to go through the person, but that's just not how physics work. You can't just pin somebody to a wall with
Dude,
a
it was
single
under-
little.
It was under his clavicle. It was perfectly fine.
Oh, okay.
He was just hung up like a
I
frame.
don't know.
But
Oh, man.
the annoying part was like, okay, maybe it's long enough to go through a person, but you could still see like this much of the blade
Yeah.
sticking out of them, you know,
It was fun.
Yeah.
Weird.
turn
Ugh,
into a sword at some point.
turns into a sword. Oh man.
It's like an evil
Alright.
Pinocchio. Every kill he gets, the sword or the blade gets longer.
Oh shit.
There's your next movie idea, Blumhouse. Run with it. That one's free.
Okay.
First one's always free,
It's
Blumhouse.
just it's so long. He's like trying to get it through a door. Like, oh fuck.
It gets too long.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty good.
Has killed too many people.
Oh man.
Oh boy. What else is there to say about this movie, boys? Anyone else have anything
Okay.
there?
I mean, I guess
Points we need to bring up?
not very important, but like the mask itself. Is that supposed to be
Let's talk about the mask.
the guy? What's his name? William
William Shatner.
Shatner from Star Trek. Like, a
Oh,
blank
without
version of
features,
yeah.
right? Yeah, I
I
have
didn't know
heard
that
that.
until today. I was like, that's fucking
Oh,
weird.
wow.
I wonder what he thinks about that if he does.
That is really weird.
What's the context there?
Captain Kirk, Star
Yeah.
Trek.
Like the mask that
like
he
that
wears is
mask.
William Shatner's
Oh,
face with
Is
like no
based off
color
of
or
his
nothing.
his
Okay.
face, but featureless essentially, which
Wow.
is weird as fuck. Yeah, I couldn't remember who it was. I was like, was it a president or yeah? But William Shatner. That's right.
That's
I don't know,
interesting.
and that's
Dude.
one like big theme in the movie is like the masks in general and how he's always building masks and.
Yeah.
And Slipknot's taking notes like
I know. I was just like, dude, is this the lead singer of Slipknot? Like, what the like?
Yeah.
fits right.
Especially in the mental hospital with all the masks on the
Yeah.
wall.
And I'm just like so much about the mental hospital bothered me. I was like, okay, you got this crazed fucking killer, and you're just gonna give him metal silverware. Why? Like he
Yeah.
has just a
Yeah.
metal fork, and he fucking murders that nurse.
But that
You're
nurse
gonna,
randomly
like-
just talks shit and just, like
Yeah,
trolls
she-
him.
that-
I was like, why?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Just
was
like
weird
there's-
too.
like because oh gosh.
and
It
then
really
and then
bothers
okay.
me because go ahead, James. Go ahead.
and then you're just like, okay, I'm gonna invite my, I don't know, was it his cousin? Like, we're gonna rape this
Yeah.
girl in this fucking 6'9",
what?
320
He's
pound.
not shackled, nothing. He's just there.
So fucking stupid and so crass. It's so
And they're
weird.
literally like caught with their pants, not caught, they're in there with their pants down. Like, what the? This guy is a fucking behemoth. Why are you raping
It's like,
somebody
"Here,
in the
fuck
first place, but in front of? Yeah, it's
While
so.
you're taunting him, like just stop.
Yeah.
Ah,
Well,
God.
he is doing arts and crafts, you know. Maybe they didn't
Right.
think that he was
And
threatening.
why he still has access to paper mache? I don't even. It's so
Oh yeah, they
know.
can make knives out of paper mache, huh?
yeah.
Oh,
I mean, they
really?
can make knives out of fucking anything in prison.
Dude, I've seen them make crossbows out of newspaper
Oh my
and like
gosh.
elastic band from like underwear. It's crazy.
Wow.
Crossbow.
Yeah.
Jesus. A
Oh
trebuchet.
man. Yeah. they're just- and like little things like that bother me about the movie. And then when Rob Zombie says that he cast his wife because he wanted the audience to believe why Michael Myers was tall. It's like, okay, that's what we're concerned about. Like, you're gonna have all of this bullshit in here and then be like, well, let's make him no, shut up. Like
Yeah. Like I said, she's in every movie, so he's got to sneak her in somehow.
that's fine. I mean, just call it like it is.
Yeah. I know. Why'd you cast her? She's my wife. It's rigged. What do you expect?
Rigged. Oh boy. All right, boys. Let's rate this fucking movie. Who I don't want to go first. I'm not
Scared?
feeling that. I'm scared, yeah. I'm scared because my score is maybe gonna be very low.
He fears his own score.
For man's score.
I can do
Who wants to
it.
take it? Taryn, take it away.
Okay, before I go, I thought I remembered the scene in Baby Driver, another movie that we've done, where they ask the heist people to get Michael Myers mask, and they come back with the actor mask.
Oh,
yeah.
Mike Myers.
So
Yeah.
fucking
Yes.
funny, dude.
Oh,
That was
so
good.
funny.
What if they would have gotten William Shatner masks then and came back? That
Oh,
probably would have been
I
too
went a deep cut.
over the head, but yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's fine.
boy.
Okay, I almost want to rate the original and this one because I feel
Do
like
it.
we
Ooh.
talked about them so equally.
Do it.
Yeah?
Oh, shit, then I have to
Wait,
think.
like
Okay,
separately?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I'll start with the new one since that's our main topic.
Okay.
Or should I? I don't know. God, I watched them in another order.
Yes.
Okay, I'll start. I'll do the old one first because that's the first one I watched.
Okay.
As any people that watched our The Thing episode saw, I fucking love John Carpenter as an everything, as a director, as a musician. Like he is fucking awesome in like every way. So like I was going in fucking hot. I was like, this movie's gonna be so cool. And it almost was, but it wasn't quite there. But I don't blame him or anything. It's just kind of the time, you know? It's one of the first fucking crazy ass slasher movies, if not the first. But the music carried the shit out of that movie for me, dude. The piano, so fucking haunting. It was really good, I thought. But if the music wasn't that good, I don't know if the movie would have been fucking anywhere near as decent as I thought it was.
Hmm.
So I don't know, because after we watched that, I was like, what's the point of this? There's no story at all, right? Like, I don't
The
know.
original?
Yeah, in the original, I was like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
Is it just to watch people die? Like, it's such a weird thing to think about. I was like, I don't know if I get it. Not for me.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, so I guess I'll just rate that real quick as like a 7, solid 7. It's fine, totally fine.
Oh,
Music is too good. The new one though, I was questioning where the story was, and then I got it, and I hated it. I was like, maybe we didn't need this. Maybe this is a bad idea.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, I like that he tried to make it different, but then halfway through, he's like, well, it's actually not different. This is just the old one with a couple little tricks to throw you off your game if you just watch the old one or whatever the fuck. I don't know, man. Rob Zombie's style just does not vibe with me. I thought all the like popular songs that he added to it were just really vibe killers, if you will. They're just so random. It's I don't know. Just because I'm so like I just know those songs so well, I'm just like I'm good on that. I don't know. I didn't think I added anything because then he just defaulted back to the old music at the end anyway. So it was like
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like I've been talking for so long. I don't know, dude. The act like nothing was really like good about the new movie, the 2007 version. I don't know if I liked almost anything besides John Carpenter's music.
Right.
From
Which is
before.
just an homage. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it was like Adrian was saying earlier, like it's fun to watch in the moment. Like I was watching it with Jay and Jordan. It was fun to just be like laughing at it or even like kind of like nervous about certain parts or whatever. But after I'm like, I don't fucking care. I'm not gonna watch the second one. Like I'm never gonna watch that movie unless I have to for the show. So I will rate Halloween 2007 5.8.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
All
lower
right.
than I
So a
guess.
7 and a
High?
5.8.
Wow.
You say hi, Jay?
No, I said low. That's lower
Oh,
than
okay.
Whoa! Wow, you're
I
gonna
said
be
hi, I was all,
afraid of.
damn.
You're gonna be afraid of my score because I think I want to go next, and I will also rate both movies, the 1998 and or excuse me, 1978 and the 2007. So I'll start with the 1978, like Taryn did. I think John Carpenter. I've only seen one other movie that he has directed, which was The Thing, and that movie was great. We watched our episode last week on that one. So the 1978 Halloween, this is just not my genre at all, guys. Like, I just don't care about watching slashers and watching like, oh, there's just this crazy person who wants to kill people. There's no story. There's no like meat and potatoes in that. It's just one-sided and I don't fucking care. I think with the original Halloween, the music has some redeeming qualities. I think maybe that's why it's still so notable today is just the music in it. Like Taryn was saying, and maybe it launched a new genre of the slasher. I don't know what other like actual quote unquote slasher movies there were before then. So for that, it's okay, but it's just that. It's just okay. Nothing else is great about it. So for me, it's a 5 out of 10.
Wow. On the original, right?
On the original 1978, you're gonna be disappointed with my. So let's flash forward to 2007. Rob Zombie. I mean, man, I was just fully, utterly disappointed with this movie. I went into it thinking like, okay, I wasn't crazy about the original. Let's see what they brought to this movie, what they changed about it. The first half of the movie is what they changed, what Rob Zombie changed. And I hated every minute of it. The writing was terrible. The relationships that the characters have, the like pseudo depth that they tried to bring to Michael Myers just didn't land at all. I was like, you're not doing anything great for this. Like, I I'm like trying to maybe empathize with him a little bit, but it's just not working. It doesn't feel right. You know, maybe if they added other elements and like, let's show some humanity in him with leaving Danny Trejo alive, or with like doing some weird things like that, but they just didn't go there. The only okay qualities about it were that the music was like pretty fun to, you know, watch, and the other okay quality was it was relatively entertaining to just laugh at this movie. And I feel like I was laughing at the movie, not laughing with the movie.
Yeah.
The 2007 was all trick and no treat. Like it just didn't have anything for me. And for all of that, it's a 3. It's a 3 out of 10.
Wow.
Is that
For
the
me.
lowest score we've ever had?
I don't know. It's just like I was like, I don't care.
Goddamn.
I don't care at all about watching any of the other movies. I don't care about any of the characters. All of this is just vapid for me, and that's it. So that's where I'm at with it, guys. Who wants to go next?
Wow. I can go.
Jay, take it away.
I mean, I think the original, like I said, you know, the context would be something like late 70s. Seems like a pretty out there movie for the late 70s. Which is cool. The music's great. John Carpenter stuff is cool. I like him as a director. I like him as a musician. All the things that we've kind of been saying. It's really hard. Like this is one of those times where I wish I could just hop in a time machine and go back to 70 and watch it in that time with like knowing what has
Yeah.
happened in the last decade. Because I feel like that would influence my score more. But I didn't like it. Like I don't, and I think, you know, kind of the central thing we've been talking about is like, are these supposed to be taken seriously? I don't really think so. I think these are supposed to be kind of fun.
Yeah.
And so for that, like I'll give the original like a solid, I think like a 7. That sounds right to me. The 2007 version is, you know, like we said, the second half really similar, pays a ton of homage to the original, which is cool. Like, and I think that limitation, if you want to call it that, is ultimately what makes it not as good. Especially because I think that Rob Zombie's strengths are in, you know, like I said, these more animated characters that have their own kind of, you know, you're kind of living in their world and not our world with crazy shit in it. So it really, I think it made it hard for him to really put his own into it. But that being said, like there were some cool things. Like you know, the music that Taryn said was a vibe killer for me. I liked just because I like that music. There was, you know, kind of funny parts like the truck stop that I think were intentionally funny, you know, which is more of like a laugh with than a laugh at. But there was also parts that you're kind of laughing at it too, like especially the when he's jamming the 2x4 into the roof.
Yeah.
Like, and the ridiculous part of that whole scene is she just falls out of the roof randomly in a different room. Like it doesn't make any sense. But you know, all in all, 2007, it gets like a 6.7 from me. Like it's still
wow.
Pretty
fun to
close.
watch.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still a Halloween movie.
That's
Like
kind of where I'm like, Adrian's score is like so different when they're essentially almost the same movie, right? Like,
yeah, but like to his credit, it's a
But
big
why do it
chunk.
again? Why do it again then? That's the question. Why do it again?
The big, you know, it's a big chunk change. It's a first half of a movie change, and it takes up half the movie. Like it's not insignificant, but it also came out almost 30 years later, right? So why do it again? Because it's been 30 years and everything old is new again, and let's try to make it happen. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a new audience, maybe.
Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah. Cool.
All right. So
Yeah.
6.7 for the new one out of Jay. And what was it, a 7 for the original?
Yeah.
James, take it away.
Yeah, so barking all the same stuff, but I think I like the new one very slightly better. Very slightly, because
You
I don't
like
know.
the behemoth.
I like
the
like
behemoth Michael Myers.
big motherfucker. Yeah, I like him. And I can't say that I really like him or anything, but yeah, I think I agree with Jay. This is definitely something, you know, imagine watching this movie in a drive-through theater, you know, with everybody around. And that's like what a lot of horror movies are. It's the it's a crowd experience. It's getting hearing the girl screech in the back of the theater or this and that. These aren't movies that you're just watching alone. This is more for like the collective feeling. You know what I mean? Like a group feeling. Everybody kind of gets that high off of the jumps and everything, and that's
Yeah.
Feel
and
the
that's
tension
like
in the room.
yeah, feel the tension in the room and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know. The original movie, I was just like, wow, this is kind of I don't know, I just don't care. And like that's what's even weirder. Like Michael escapes. Like there's all these freaking crazy people running around in some dark place, and you know where he went. He went home, and it's like, okay, all right, okay. The original is like a 5.9 for me. 2007 suffers from 2007 isms.
True.
For some reason the original ages way better than this one will.
Yeah.
It's already terribly aged.
Yeah.
It's a 6 for me. So
Oh,
that's how
jumping straight
close
into it.
that's how close the edge is for me. And
Wow.
it's barely better. And the things that I liked about it was the background, which I think a lot of you guys didn't really care for, but I liked it. And then the stuff I didn't care for that was just longer was the killings, and I was like, can this stop, please? But I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like these aren't our types of horror films for sure. And that's like when James, when you were talking about like watching this movie in a drive-in and all that,
Yeah.
like, yeah, that sounds like it would be
Oh, I
fucking
would love
awesome.
that.
I
Yeah.
also forgot
Yeah.
to mention that it was kind of scary a little bit, because like when you see like the mental health side of it sort of thing, like you're like, oh shit, Jacqueline was applying for a job to be like to help people with disabilities draw and stuff like that. And once she saw this, she was like, "Oh fuck!" She was kind of like, "I don't want to be,
Oh my
I
God.
don't want to be working around like some
Yeah.
fucking unhinged person." Which is so.
Funny.
So I forgot to mention that this movie kind of does have that creepy element, and it's more. I'm talking 2007. It has that more to real life like vibe to it. Like this could
Mhm.
happen maybe. Anyways.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, and that's also, I mean, Jordan, who picked the movie, mentioned that like she's scared of this movie like in a real way because to her, Michael as a kid is like the people she grew up around. Like
Long hair,
she knew
band
kids like
t-shirts.
that, long
Yeah.
hair, band t-shirts. This was like she saw a piece of
Is
that.
that us?
In
Is
this.
that us? Damn it.
That's Taryn with his Kiss t-shirt.
No, it was funny. After we watched it, Taryn left and I locked the door. I turned around and I just put all my hair in front of my face and I just stood there like in the dark. I did not
That's
go
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we have rated this, or I guess we gave 2 ratings for the 1978 and the 2007. 1978 came in at a collective 6.225,
Crazy.
and the remake, Rob Zombie 2007, came in at a collective 5.375.
That's fair.
So,
Wow.
yeah, not too far off on the scores. But I mean, you've probably watched these movies, so we would love to know what you guys thought of these movies. Why do you think they're still so relevant, and what makes them like what makes Michael Myers the like one of the pinnacles of horror bad guys, right? So yeah, message us on any of our socials. You can find all of those at filmfumblers.com. Next week on Friday, I believe that is Friday the 16th, which is James's birthday, we are recording our episode on Caroline. So be sure you're tuned into that. Yeah, follow us everywhere if you want to support us. We have just received our subscribe button on Twitch. So if you are dying to send money our way, that's going to be a great way to support us there. You can subscribe on Twitch. And yeah, I think that about does it, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight, guys. Have a good night. Cheers.
Cheers.
See you guys. Bye.
Later.